So here's a question. If we push the Mets off of a cliff and wear noise-canceling headphones to actually enjoy the moment, laugh with everyone around you, and have a good time, does a Met still scream, asking for a friend? Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode number 18 of season number 2 of It's Always Sunny in South Philadelphia. Man, season 2 is rolling right along. We're so close to football season already. It's almost the end of August too. My name is Riley Rich. Today, we will be talking about the series in Cincinnati against the Reds, and the series, 4-game series over 3 days at home against the New York Mets, who deserve to go to hell. I'm your host, Riley Rich. Before we get started today, yes, this is a new location. Congratulations, you have eyes. For those that can't see me, I feel really bad. But if you can see me, it makes sense having a new location and it kind of looks different. Yeah, other than that, follow and subscribe wherever you listen. I do not have the shirt on right now, but you guys know what the merch looks like. If you want merch like that, bonfire.com/store/IASSP-merch. I am going to make some sort of merch thing in the next 2 weeks, so keep your eyes open for that. I'm going to release a third set of merchandise in a second, but got to think of ideas first. I got a few finalists. But with that taken care of, let's begin. Starting with the series in Cincinnati, we did okay. It was a 3-game series. We took 2 of 3. I'm sorry if I'm going to be looking down a lot. I usually keep my notes behind me. I really can't do that in this space, so I'll be basically like a news anchor that has no clue what he's doing. And I'll basically just be looking down like this, so you'll be able to see this brownish hair for most of the time. So let's get right into it. Let's start with Monday's game. Noah Syndergaard took the mound for the Phillies. He went 7 innings, giving up 8 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He's 4-0 in his first, or 3-0 in his first 4 starts with the Phillies. He's undefeated since he has been traded to the Phillies. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Is it good? Yes. Does it scream his full potential? No. For me, it screams that basically we're a better team than the Angels. He's still the way that he is. He's just getting more run support. Speaking of run support, 415 runners in scoring position, 11 left on base. That left on base number is not something you like to see. But the 4 for 15, I mean, we're getting 4 hits and runners in scoring position, and we're getting 15 opportunities. That sounds like the most basic thing I know, but the thing we need to work on is getting more hits with runners in scoring position. I know I'm going a bit too hard on them, but more than 3 hits and runners in scoring position is basically a guaranteed win. And as long as you don't go over, getting 15 runners in scoring position is also a very good thing. Starter players on our side, Bryson Stott went 3 for 5. Edmundo Sosa, this was the game for Edmundo Sosa. 2 for 4. 3 RBIs, all of them with 2 outs. He played at third. He played at short. He made a diving play anywhere. Phillies Twitter had fun making highlights of Edmundo Sosa. It's so great to see. One of our backup middle infielders having such a tremendous game. Every single person is contributing on this team right now, and that's what we need. Mike Minor pitched for the Reds. He went 5 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Not really much to talk about on Cincinnati's side. Even though it was a 1-run game, which thankfully to our bullpen with David Robertson and Sir Anthony Dominguez, we were able to shut the door. Phillies got a 4-3 win on Monday and kept the game close. We were able to close out the game, which is very nice to see. Tuesday was our game. Kyle Gibson took the mound for game number 2. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts. Kyle Gibson is very inconsistent with his strikeout totals. It's not something to be alarmed about. He can have 4 strikeouts and have a great game. He can have 7 strikeouts and absolutely blow it. The strikeout total doesn't really matter. It's just really nice to see Gibson get 11 strikeouts. It's not really something that we see a lot from him. And again, he did give up 3 runs. He did get himself in a ton of situations. He did run up that pitch count, took him out in the 6th inning. But still a very nice game for Kyle Gibson. Nick Nelson gave up a run in the 9th. But, I mean, we won by 7 runs. That's not really making a difference right now. And Connor Brogdon and Jose Alvarado out of the bullpen shutting it down. Yet again, for the 2nd straight game, we had 15 runners, 15 opportunities with runners in scoring position. That is a very good number to have. We went 6 for 15. That's a number that I would like to see more out of this team. 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position. 9 guys left on base. Is that a good number to have? No. When you're 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position, you could obviously make exceptions. Guys, we care about runners in scoring position because if you hit it into the outfield, if you get a base hit, as long as it isn't a roller with amazing speed, as long as you get a normal base hit, that should bring home a run. Again, here, the Phillies are a power-heavy team, and I know we don't have that much speed, but if we shift away from the power because we're in a hitter's ballpark and we go with some speed, if we go like guys with like Edmundo Sosa, like Brandon Marsh, this number will turn into amazing games like this one, which we won 11-4. Reese, but speaking of power, it was on display on Tuesday. 5 home runs combined for the team. Reese with 2. Derek Hall, Nick Castellanos, and Garrett Stubbs with home runs as well. Speaking of Reese Castellanos, them alongside Gene Segura with a 3-hits game. Stubbs and Matt Vierling both with 2 hits. And please excuse me while I try to pronounce this as best I can. Is it? I really want to say Zook. It's not. It's like Zoik or something. TJ Zoik is the pitcher. We're going to go with Zoik until someone corrects me. Zeuch. Very interesting name. We're all about it. 4 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. We got him out of here. We went to the bullpen early. They couldn't recover. It's an 11-4 win for your Phils. They take the series. And then we go into Wednesday's game. Absolute pitcher's duel on Wednesday. Gotta admit, kind of boring. But you know what? We are baseball fans here. We are used to it. I mean, for people, I would say that Wednesday's game is not something you show someone who hasn't seen a baseball game before. You want their first game to be good. It was good in our terms, but for a casual, they would think it's very boring. A good old-fashioned pitcher's duel on our hands between Ranger Suarez and Nick Lodolo. Ranger went 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Nick Lodolo also went 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Very similar lines. Alexis Diaz shut it down out of the bullpen. He got 2 shutout innings in there. Reese, Bohm, Castellanos, Derek Hall, and Matt Vierling were our 5 hits. And basically, the question about Wednesday's game was, why do you pinch hit Schwarber? Now, I got to back up. 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 6 guys left on base. That's not a good total anyway. That is a terrible number. You're going to be losing games with that. But let's put ourselves in this situation. I know I don't do this a lot, and I need to do this more often. We got to talk about strategy here. David Robertson just pitched you a really good 8th. You're going to the 9th. Bryson Stott is sitting. He's out for today. You have Edmundo Sosa at short. He's been good on Monday. Kyle Schwarber has been injured and hasn't been playing. He is also sitting, but he could, in theory, pinch hit. You have Edmundo Sosa at the plate. I believe it was runner on first, runner on second. Anyway, you're not scoring a run in the 9th inning. You're just not scoring a run in the 9th inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez is warming up. Look, I get that Sir Anthony blew it, But in this scenario, we're going to still act like he has a 1.6 ERA, and it's a pretty good chance that you're shutting it down. Yeah, there was a runner on base. Why Mr. Robert Thomson, our Canadian mastermind, decided to put in Kyle Schwarber? I hate this move. Because we got to remember, we're living in the new age of baseball. God, I hate myself. But we're living in the era with the extra runner on base, and it's probably not going away. Let's all remember why we got Edmundo Sosa in the first place. 97th percentile sprint speed. That's the thing that he does. If you put Sosa up there, he could have the opportunity to get a hit anyway. But even if he doesn't, you have 97th percentile sprint speed on second base, ready to go for your lineup, who I forget if it was like 4, 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9. Either way, anywhere in the Phillies lineup is absolutely lethal. They would get him in, and you just wait and make sure that Seranthony shuts it down. You would probably hold off on Seranthony. You might put in someone else. Brogdon pitched the day before. Maybe Connor Brogdon if he still has that energy. But probably not. Sam Coonrod is back. Maybe you put in Coonrod for the 9th. But, no. They decided to pinch at Schwarber. He struck out. What a shock. And then Seranthony, literally had 2 outs. 2-out rally. Cincinnati wins. And again, even if they didn't, we would have Kyle Schwarber on second base. Not really a good runner. And we might not even be talking about pushing a run across in the potential 10th inning. Very interesting decision by Rob Thomson. That's not the last that you're going to hear me rant about Rob Thompson's decisions. Not that he's Girardi. Not that he's bad. Everybody makes questionable decisions. I would make questionable decisions. I would give you a really good example, but I'm going to wait until next week to talk about it. But this loss extremely hurts. You might have heard me say something about last week's episode about momentum going into a Mets series. Huge blow to your momentum. If we swept, we would have been sky high. We might have split the series, but we didn't. We went in on a somber note. We went into the series. Did we have Nola? Yes. Nola went. Here's the problem, though. The Mets just don't care. The Mets are absolutely lethal. You need to be on the top of your game. The Phillies just were not. Nola went 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Angel Bellotti gave up a 2-run 8th. There's Nick Nelson, and there's Sam Coonrod. 2 for 7 with runners scoring position, 9 runners left on base. That's not a good number. See, 9 left on base. We're looking for... I need to create the graph for you guys to make it easier. But if we have 9 runners left on base, we're looking for 3 or 4 hits with runners in scoring position. 1 hit changes the whole game, especially if you have runners in scoring position, especially if you guys just follow my team model. But no, we're going to get more strikeout-prone guys because Phillies. JT went 3 for 4. Kyle Schwarber went 2 for 5. He had 2 RBIs, but it just wasn't enough. Again, somber note. Alec Boehm with an error in the first. It led to a run. Chris Bassett was on the mound, all-star for the A's. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Shut it down. And especially bad news when you're facing the Mets bullpen. Adam Ottavino, Joely Rodriguez, Trevor May. Again, I talked about Ottavino last time. Ottavino, filthy slider, filthy sinker. Joely Rodriguez, great addition. Trevor May haunts us after being our top prospect. Pete Alonso with a home run, 3 RBIs. Pete Alonso owns this poverty franchise. And the Mets took Game 1. They also took Game 2, which was Game 1 of the doubleheader. Zach Wheeler pitched the first game of the doubleheader. He went 5 1/3. 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Nick Nelson, yeah, pretty bad 9th. 4-run 9th, not looking good. So, I mean, that's circumstantial, but when you give 4 runs, not the best outing. Connor Brogdon, Brad Hand did fine. Connor Brogdon actually pitched an inning and 2/3. He did very well out of the bullpen. Good for him. And the game got so bad that Derek Hall pitched. I really don't need to say anything else. Derek Hall pitched. But I'll keep going because this game was so terrible. Castellanos with a multi-hit game. Congratulations. Gene Segura with an RBI. Yay, you're doing something now. Reese with 3 strikeouts. Strikeout prone. Strikeout prone. Trevor Williams, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for the Mets. I mean, that's a really good line. And these aren't 7-inning games. These are 9-inning games. You pull your starter after 4 innings. Not really the greatest, but Seth Lugo can eat up a ton of innings too. Seth Lugo gave up a run, but Joel Rodriguez, Adam Ottavino, and Sam Clay shut it down. And McNeil and Michael Perez with multiple RBIs in Game 1. The Mets took Game 1 by a final score of 8-2. But when we got on national television, we decided that this was the opportunity not to screw ourselves. As we go into Game 2 of the series, Bailey Falter took the mound. When I saw Bailey Falter, I was not optimistic at all. Bailey Falter pitched better than Zach Wheeler on Saturday the 20th. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walk, 3 strikeouts. Jose Alvarado and David Robertson out of the bullpen, shutting it down. They went 4 for 17 with runners in scoring position, 11 left on base. Again, just a little bit under my threshold, but still enough to get the win. Alec Bohm had multiple RBIs. Schwarber and Reese had a multi-hit game. I mean, David Robertson, a very solid inning. David Peterson did not have a good outing. Peterson's like the perfect 6th starter, by the way, but not on Saturday. 4 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Very odd that the Mets cannot come back. The only sad part about this is that David Robertson did get the save because Sir Anthony was put on the 15-day IL with a tricep injury. Yeah. That's basically death for us. Harper is not the end of the world because we have power hitters. Sir Anthony Dominguez is a huge blow because we do not have any other competent pitchers. That can go multiple nights. David Robertson tried that on Sunday. He blew it. Was it his fault? No. But speaking of Sunday, oh my God, what a game on Sunday. See, I told you Wednesday was not the game that you show someone who is new to baseball. Sunday is the game you show someone new to football. Baseball, God. It's August, come on. We don't need to talk about that yet. Alec Bohm with 2 thrown homers. The second one was so anticlimactic, it just went opposite field and hit the very bottom of the pole. It's not even a real metal at the bottom. It just kind of like went back. The pole kind of like went back. Nick Maton had 2 RBIs in this game. Very interesting. Kyle Gibson took the mound. 8 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned. Again, errors. Sorry about that. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Connor Brogdon and David Robertson both had blown saves. Yeah, very rough. 4 13 with runners in scoring position, 9 left on base. That's a good number. That's exactly where we need to be on the threshold. Tyler Sear with his Major League debut. He gave up the 10th run to Mark Canha after David Robertson gave up the 2-run homer. Instantly DFA'd. Instantly picked up by the A's, so that means he'll probably turn into a Moneyball sensation. He'll join Cole Irvin over there. Mark Canha destroys all hopes for me with his 2 home runs. Brandon Nimmo just wants to keep adding on and keep destroying my life with his home run. Jose Buto with a debut. 4 7 runs. That's the most given up in franchise history for the Mets. Yay, we did something. And then a different debut from bank to bullpen. I forget the first name I just wrote down. Fisher. He pitched 3 innings. He backed up his boy. He did very well. Trevor May and Edwin Diaz. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Oh, I know. Maybe just stop giving up cookies down the middle and stop letting the Mets 2-out rally. And here's the thing about that game too. Our bench depleted. Like we did not have anybody on the bench. We got to a point where we pinch hit Derek Hall for the center fielder. I believe it was Vierling. Kyle Schwarber got pinch hit for Garrett Stubbs, and he didn't come into the game. But Derek Hall was pinch hitting for a center fielder. Bryson Stott was the only guy on our bench. like, even if we tie the game, we got to run in the ninth, got to run in the bottom ninth. We let Derek Hall hit. He struck out. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Edwin Diaz paints corners. I mean, I really don't feel bad for Derek Hall. There's nothing he can do. Why do you put in Derek Hall in that situation? I'm sorry. He had a great minor leagues, a great start. He's not a contact hitter. To say outright, he's not a contact hitter. He has never been a contact hitter. He will not be a contact hitter. That's not something we pinch it for when we just need a base hit. And I also realize I'm going to backtrack for a second to that Wednesday game also. I don't know if it happened on Sunday, but Nick Maton has been playing the outfield in these past few days. And Yairo Munoz is playing right field. I don't know if that's this upcoming episode or this episode or the next one. But that was also the thing, too. They pinch hit Schwarber and then didn't put him in left. He was unable to be put in left. That's the only situation where that would have made sense. It didn't. Very confusing moves by Rob Thomson. There's nothing he could have done. He basically... He tied his hands... He had his hands tied. He couldn't really do anything else. And it ultimately didn't... It wasn't fully on that, but it pretty much did cost them. It pretty much put the nail on the head that we would lose this game. Up next for this team, we're going back and playing the Reds. We're actually playing the Reds for our home opener next year. If you didn't see the 2023 schedule release, that'll be in the top right corner right now. I'm sure I just pointed to the top left corner, but I don't care. We have the Reds at home, and we have the Pirates at home. Should be a very easy week. If it's not, you will hear me screaming next week. End of sentence. Let's move on to minor league baseball, as this episode is taking up longer than usual, which is good because I need to get more time on these. AAA is actually in first place as I'm recording this, which is awesome. AAA is 3-3. They played at Buffalo, the AAA affiliate of the Blue Jays. They even have a really nice season too. Although I would say the main prize for the Blue Jays is Orelvis Martinez in AA, who I'm pretty sure just set the franchise record for that AA team. Daniel Robertson. Guys, remember signing Daniel Robertson? I'm so sad he hasn't played yet. Daniel Robertson, Will Toffey, amazing stuff at the plate so far. Tyler Sear got called up, and Michael Kelly did very good as well. AA, they had a very strong week. They went to Portland. We'll talk about why they had a strong week in a second. But they played Portland, the AA affiliate of the Red Sox. They went 4-2. Madison Stokes and Aldrin Corredor leading the way on offense. Carlos De La Cruz as well leading that way on offense as well. And Ethan Lindo in the pitching staff gets our support. And now we get to the stars of the show for today. Class A Advance. They split the series against Wilmington. Jared Carr, Luis Garcia, Drew Baker, your stars. But the main prize, though. The main prize is a very, very large call-up alert times 2. Mick Abel gets the call-up alert. Our number 2 prospect goes to AA. And Andrew Painter, our number 1 prospect, the very next day getting the call-up alert to AA. I'm pretty sure Andrew Painter went 6 innings with 8 strikeouts in his first start at AA, and that's why they won the game on Sunday against Portland. Mick Abel with a very strong performance as well. Johan Rojas is now in AA. The future is now for the Phillies farm system, even though they're ranked number 25 in the league. I don't care. And then we get to Class A. Class A went 4-2 at Dayton. Very nice that none of our teams had a losing record. Ryan Leitch, that's right. Ryan Leitch, he is not a draft pick. He was a draft pick by the Reds in 2019. Eric Brito and Jamarly Baylor, who was a third rounder in 2019. I barely can read my own handwriting off of this script. Led the way on offense, and Sam Jacobsack led the way on the pitching mound for Clearwater. So, that's going to do it. We're near the end of the episode, which means it's time for Philly of the Week. Oh, man. Philly. First off, before I start with Philly of the Week, I forgot Sadman. I'm so sad. I am a sad man for forgetting sad man. I really don't have anything else to replace it. I got this biker thing. I don't know. I'm just gonna... Here's your imaginary sad man. This week's award, I really didn't know who to give it to. It might have been one of those things where Sir Anthony proved to be the most valuable player because of his absence. I don't like giving out awards for absence, though. That's not good, even if it's uncontrolled. But I think for the third straight week in a row, third straight week in a row. I wrote down Sir Anthony last week, didn't give it to him. He gave it to Nola. Third straight week in a row, as I can't speak anymore, we are giving it to a pitcher who pitched once, and that start was absolutely amazing and led the way to a crucial win. This one over the Mets. He pitched on Game 2 of the doubleheader, and of course I said he was playing against the Mets. We only won once against the Mets, and that start in the Philly of the week this week. The imaginary sad man goes to Bailey Falter. Falter doesn't really have the stuff that the other guys have, but he still pitched amazing. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts in his Game 2 start against the New York Mets. And with that, Bailey Falter, you get the Philly of the week. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. It's actually a pretty decently long episode-ish. Other podcasts are like hours long, but this one, pretty good size for our podcast. Basically hit everything on the head. Make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you listen, which should be popping up for those who can see right about now. And remember, even if the Phillies blow this amazingly awesome chance to get a few wins on the board, even if the Mets continue to tear up the schedule, even if the Padres keep winning when we lose, even if the Brewers do well, keep your heads high, because it's always sunny in South Philadelphia, and I'll see you guys next week.